Hi friends, it's a beautiful fall day and I'm coming to you from the grounds of the Brindu Mansion in Granville. The sun is shining and it's in the mid-70s this afternoon. Last Friday, the weather wasn't quite so nice. It was only in the mid-50s and it was raining off and on all day. I wanted to get in a run, and so I kept an eye on the weather app on my phone to see when I would have the best chance for a dry window. The weather app told me that between 4 and 6 was the time to go. So at 4 o'clock, I headed out on the path toward Alexandria. As I got to about Wildwood Park, there was a big dark cloud coming from the west. And I thought about turning around, but I decided to keep going and take my chances. Well, the dark cloud passed over and I thought I was in the clear. I was not. It started to sprinkle, and again I thought about turning around, but the threatening cloud had already passed, so I thought the sprinkles would too. They did not. Not only did they not pass, but they increased until the sprinkles became a downpour. Now, at that point, I was about 3 miles out, and so I had no choice but to run home in the rain. Running in the rain isn't so bad when it's 85 degrees outside, but when it's 55 degrees, it's a little chilly. So in order to keep my mind off of how uncomfortable and cold I was, I tried to think about some other things. Let me share a couple of those thoughts with you today. The first thing that occurred to me was that it wasn't the big dark cloud that got me. It was the long gray after it. I think that happens a lot in life. We go through a dark moment, an illness, an injury, the death of a loved one, the rebellion of a child, stress at work, loss of a job, and it's difficult and it's uncertain, but we get through it and we think we're okay. But then it's the long gray afterward that really gets us. We continue to grieve and to struggle and to question, and it becomes a long, uncomfortable, cold slog. Sometimes difficult just to put one foot in front of the other and keep moving. But keep moving we must, because it's the only way to get home. Here's a picture of me when I got home last Friday. If you look closely, you'll notice two things. I was soaking wet, and the sky is beginning to clear. By the time I got home, the sun was coming out. The long gray doesn't last forever. Our struggle and strife and grief will come to an end. If not in this life, in the life to come, in our true home, not made with hands, but eternal in the heavens. Here's the other thing I realized on my cold, wet run. There is beauty even in the midst of distress, even before we arrive home. I was coming around the bend near the eagle's nest along the path, and this beautiful tunnel of orange opened up before me. Of course, it was the orange leaves on the trees on both sides of the path. But the trees were not only full of leaves in their branches, but the rain was making the leaves fall, and the raindrops in the air and on my glasses blurred everything, creating this beautiful visual effect of being completely surrounded by orange. It was stunning. And so I want to encourage you, especially if you're in one of those long gray times right now, that first, you're normal. It's okay. You're not somehow deficient because you continue to grieve or be uncertain or struggle after the dark cloud has passed. Second, keep your heart and mind open so that you can catch glimpses of beauty even through the blur of tears. Third, keep moving, literally and metaphorically. Take care of your body and your soul. Life's journey is not completed in a single bound, but one faithful step after another. And every faithful step moves you closer and closer to the perfect peace and eternal security of home. Thanks for listening. I'll see you again next week.